Cool. Possession has a bunch of similar parts. It's not a super technical song. Should be okay. Let's put the DDR note skin on. Why not? One thing to say right away about this song is I actually like playing it on mirror. What mirror does is it makes the box run coming out of the slowdown, which is one of the hardest parts that people break combo on. As they're working to full combo the song, that's like one of the main parts people mess up. When you put it on mirror, it makes it much easier to parse. It makes the pattern go left, down, up, right, up, right. So if you look at it right now, the default non-mirror, I'm looking at basic? No. So right here, the non-mirror version of the box run is really hard. You have to go up, left, right, down, right, up, down, left, right, which just feels a little unnatural if you're right foot dominant. Not exactly sure why, but in my opinion, mirror makes this way, way easier. So that's the first thing I recommend. It doesn't really do anything else to the rest of the chart. The rest of the chart is pretty much the same. This is the main part that it affects. Cool, so with that out of the way, let's go to the top. So the first section is just like, I guess what I'll call the pre-first slowdown. So let's look at it here. So as you can see, all quarter notes. So if you're playing a 17 and you just have 35 measures of quarter notes, hope you're with me so far. A lot of people can white combo that section. Nothing really to talk about there. Here, the slowdown. So let's look at what the first slowdown looks like. So that part can be pretty tricky. So that part has some interesting rhythms. I do a bracket on one of those jumps, which may or may not work in your preferred way to play. But basically, this part requires a little bit of foot speed. You know, we do this, let's see. I'm gonna loop it a little bit. So here, I'll play it, and you can see there's a downright jump that I bracket in this section. Everything else I do, I guess, according to the Konami way. But that downright jump I bracket. So here, I'll play it. So I prefer to bracket that jump because if you do it the way, let's see, if you don't bracket it, what happens here? So at measure 40, what's going on is you have to go left, down, left, and then right, up, and then turn your body 90 degrees to go down here, which feels kind of awkward. So that's why I like to just go like da-da-da-da-da-da, facing the same way. All I'm doing is picking up my foot instead of doing like the mirrored pattern at measure 40 here. Instead of, you know, you could go like, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da, and still try to like kind of face right, I guess. But I still think that like going from up to down right is like a really awkward stretch. So I would recommend you just bracket it. I think it's just a lot easier to hit while you're facing the same way. The rest of it's just like drills, you know what I mean? So it's just like foot speed. This is just a core DDR skill that you're gonna have to practice. And then this is just one beat, I believe, this pause here. So let's go to the end of the slowdown now. So yeah, you can literally go step 1 4th note. So the song goes da 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 da, and that one note in the middle there is the one note that you do not hit. So let's look at it one more time. Or maybe it's after that. I'm actually not sure. I can't hear it now. But anyways, you can just go step 1 extra 4th note. So what I like to do is I go step the up arrow or the right arrow to flow into that left arrow at measure 42. So I messed up there. It's hard when you're just doing bits and pieces of it. So actually, like, I feel like it might even be more confusing to go step, now that I'm thinking about it. Probably just easier to time one beat in your head, just because the song is really fast, 380 BPM. Cool. What else? So after that first slowdown, there's this really repetitive rhythm where it just goes da 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 until you get to these candles, which can be pretty difficult. So in this candle section, just make sure you're always alternating feet, right? So you want to go here above measure 50. You want to go, you know, da 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 da. Just make sure you're always alternating feet and turning, doing those little half turns. Same thing on the other side. Da 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 da. Changes it up just a little bit. And then this part, I think, gives a lot of people trouble, both from a stamina perspective, and just because like doing jumps fast is hard. Cat, is doing jumps fast hard? So it's just a thing.
You can't jump. Oh, there's boxes. Like they're not jumps. They're just like shift your feet.
Yeah,
to the corners of the square.
Yeah, exactly. So people have different strategies for this section. What I like to do is basically do all the jumps legit. Some people might recommend that you bracket all of it, like just jump on all 4. I've seen people do that and get all marvelouses. I have to stress that for accuracy, you probably want to just do all the jumps legit. So let's see what that looks like. So I'm actually, shifting my weight from corner to corner and hitting them legitimately. It's really exhausting. It definitely took me a lot of stamina building to be able to do this every single time, or play it multiple times in a row. But I think it's worth it. I think if you can force yourself to do it legitimately, you'll get more and more perfects and marvelouses than you would otherwise. I've definitely been full energy and tried to bracket all of these and just get misses nonstop. So, and I'm good at bracketing. I feel like I'm good at bracketing. So I recommend just doing them legit. Good ways to practice this kind of stuff is to honestly just rate mod. Just a rate mod possession and play possession. You can do that by going into the step mania options here. And just do whatever feels challenging to you. Like you can, start at 0.5 or 0.75, and then try to hit these. increase the speed, etc. I could probably do it on like 1.5, maybe? Let's see. Let's see if I can do it on like 1.5. I'm curious. Whoop. That's so hard.
Wow, what? That is not equivalent.
That's really hard. Nope, we're gonna stick to 1, everybody.
How fast was that?
1.5.
What? Why?
380 times 1.5.
Why?
Just wanted to see what it sounded like. It sounded really funny. Alright, after the jumps, there is the second slowdown, which is the part I was talking about at the very beginning, which is the reason why I play this song on Mirror. Mirror makes the box run at the end very easy. This slowdown is kind of your break in the 17. It ends in a run, so 8th note, and this is another stop that it lasts 1 beat. Or maybe this one's actually 2 beats, let's see. Yeah, it's actually more. It's like 3. But basically the song goes doom, and then you hit the 4th note after that, which is like so let's look at that. If you want to do the box run straight up here, Godspeed. I think it's a lot harder, but I'll play that section now. So one more time. What is my tip for box runs? Box runs are just one of those patterns where you have to mentally focus. You have to do this all the time in DDR and ITG, I guess, but with this, you really want to focus on hitting each individual note. I think when people see box runs, I definitely get this way now still. There's a bit of panic and like anxiety, and you tend to rush it, or you tend to get lost in your own feet. And hi, Theodore. And the way that you don't get lost in your own feet is you visualize yourself hitting each individual arrow. It sounds kind of basic / Zen-like, but there's really nothing more pure than just focusing on getting a fantastic or marvelous for each individual arrow. If I break focus of each individual arrow, I'll see it kind of as like one glob and do something that's going to mess me up, right? I'm going to focus on getting the entire section. Oh, I better get the box run, or I'm going to see, maybe I'm like counting off the arrows. Maybe I'm saying like, oh, there's 4 arrows that would go like this and 4 arrows that go like this. Like, you don't want to do any of that. You want to literally, your brain needs to be like very serial input output. You want to go right arrow up. Right now, 0 milliseconds. Left arrow, left foot, 0 milliseconds. Like you're just kind of operating each individual arrow is just getting hit, right? But when I play the full song, I'll play it on Mirror. You'll see just how much easier it is. I don't think I can actually turn mod it right now. Cool. And then this part also. So Konami at this point wants you to be crossing over or playing this part turned. So at measure 81, you need to be, technically, according to Konami, you need to be facing left. So you get this freeze arrow, and then the music goes boom, boom, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And then at 81, you're going da-da-da-da. And then right before 82, da-da-da-da, right? Which feels really weird. So I just double step this part. So here, at the pause, I use my right foot, right arrow, right? Boom. And then you can either do, you can either face left and do at measure 81, da-da-da, here. And then double step again with your left foot here, right here. And then face right here and go da-da-da-da, and then the rest of it just flows, right? So I'll play this a couple times to show you there's like multiple ways to do this part. So that's turned, right? Double step. Face right. So I think of those three, either doing the turn, double stepping with the left foot, or just starting after this arrow, starting face right. I think facing right is the easiest. That would be my recommendation. So you just go facing right. That to me feels like you're doing the least, which is what you want to do in DDR. You just want to do the least and get the most. All right, and then the rest of it is pretty straightforward once again. The same rhythm. Etc., etc., etc. This part is like an endurance test. There's just a lot of notes, so you have to just be able to power through. There's no tricky patterns necessarily. These freeze arrows you don't need to hold all the way. You can actually cheat them and just treat them as normal fourth notes. In DDR, you always have some leeway, so never feel like you have to hold a freeze arrow down for the entire duration. No complicated patterns here. And then it's those same jumps again, which again, you know, by this point you're exhausted. You really have to tell yourself to power through. Do them all legit. And then the last part. So you think the song is ending, and then it throws one of the hardest, maybe one of the hardest sections, with 12th note step jumps. So just like the box run, step jumps are really about separating all the arrows into individual arrows and just focusing on hitting each arrow the way it's supposed, the time it's supposed to be hit, right? So like we know that this rhythm is, you know, right? It's like, well, let's just listen to it. So if we know that it's supposed to sound like that should be your focus as you're going into these jumps. And as you are going into the step before the step jump, or this, I guess it's named step jump. So the step before the jump, you want to make sure that you're not rushing that. I think a lot of people get nervous, just like the box run, and they will rush that step and get a great, you know, on this note above 136 right here. And what you want to do is just you know the rhythm is supposed to sound like this. So as best as you can, you have to try to not panic and see each arrow individually and follow that rhythm, right? So let's just do this entire section, super try hard mode. And then I'll put an entire song on mirror, and you can see all these strategies at play. And then I'm probably gonna make some dinner.
Yum.
So, try hard section at the end. You're so tired. Actually, might as well just do it from.
But you can do it.
You can do it. You can do anything.
Do it.
We'll just play like the second half of the song.
When you get tired, just imagine I'm behind you screaming, "You can do it! I believe in you!"
Aw, that's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Why not?
possession expert. I'm going to meow. We'll put it on mirror on the default mode and quad it. And yeah, that'll be that. Cool. Anybody have any questions? Anybody in the chat have any questions about possession? Probably one of, if not the most recognizable song in DDR. Pretty cool. Whoops. So I did a few more brackets than I would normally, but that's possession.
What's a bracket?
When you hit a corner jump with 1 foot.
Ah. That sounds hard.
All right. Well, let me know in the chat or on YouTube in the comments if you want to talk about the song more. But that's all I gotta say. So there it is. Boom. Boom.